Right, here we have a Sailor, and this is Professional Gear Slim, which is the smaller size of pen. As you see with Sailor pens, they come all with converters, with instructions. Let's have a look. Oh no, all there. There we are. And of course, a pen. As you'll see, not a very big pen, but I like these a great deal. They're the least expensive pen we stock with a proper 14 karat gold nib. This one's rhodium plated, and this one is a spectacularly interesting nib. We've a nice little pen here, pretty conservative in appearance, and we're going to test it with some of this Sailor Gentle ink. Now, this is one of those bottles where you can get pretty much the last drop out. However, you sometimes can't get the first drop out unless you invert it like that, thus filling the plastic cone in the middle of the bottle. And that's where you actually fill the pen from. The colour here is Grenache, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. So I'm just going to dip this pen and show you, within the limits of my ability, which are very narrow, what it can do. This is what they call the zoom nib. Now, nibs on the Sailor series of pens, because the Japanese tend to be pretty much on the fine side, so a medium fine is equivalent to a European fine. The fine is pretty much extra fine. This is a zoom, and it does all sorts of exciting things. So there we go, dipped in this ink. So, you hold it fairly upright, you get a reasonable line. If you flip it over, you get a fine line. If you start to lay it down on the paper a bit, you get a much broader line, and this is what they mean by the zoom nib. So, as we come down, you gradually lay the pen further down on the page, the line gets thicker, and as I stand it up, it gets thinner. And I think you can also write with the back of the pen. Pretty good line. Once the flow is established properly, that'll be splendid. Now, I have seen it written on the side as well. There we go, side 2. Not that side though. The nib is so much fun, people quite often come in and play with it for half an hour before they decide they really need to own one. So, amazing. You can do anything you want with this particular pen. It's a beauty. Now, the interesting thing about these is that they're not colossally expensive. We've got them on the market, we've got them in the shop at about just over £120. It's a beautifully built pen, beautifully engineered. Everything fits together the way very expensive pens should. The nib certainly works the way that a very expensive pen's nib ought to work. And so I would commend to you very highly the Sailor Pro Gear Slim, and equally the Sailor 1911 Standard, which is also a smallish size pen, much the same really as the PG.